baseball is, if anything, unpredictable. Last night, the Indians ran out to a 7-0 lead, thanks in part to Bradley Zimmer's first career grand slam. But the resilient Angels clawed their way back by scoring the next 7 runs to force extra innings. Along the way, Michael Brantley and Zimmer made some sensational run-saving plays that could have been the difference in the game. In the end, it came down to an at-bat against each team's prolific home run hitter. Dan Otero induced an inning-ending groundout off the bat of Albert Pujols with the go-ahead run at third. Just moments later, Edwin Encarnacion sent a prodigious blast to the bleachers and left, ending the game with a historic grand slam. Now the Tribe hands the ball to Carlos Carrasco, hoping he will give the bullpen a breather and send the Indians to their 6th straight win at home. Next on Sports Time Ohio. It's another beautiful night for baseball here in downtown Cleveland. From Progressive Field, it's Game 2 of this 3-game series between the Cleveland Indians and the Los Angeles Angels as the surging Tribe looks to stay one step ahead of the hard-charging Kansas City Royals in the AL Central. Hi again, everyone. Matt Underwood alongside Rick Manning. As you know, the late, great Herb Score used to say the best part about announcing a ball game is when you sit down, you might see something you've never seen before. And last night, that prophecy certainly came true.
Well, 2 grand slams in one game, and Bradley Zimmer, his first career, he opened it up and had a big 7-run inning. You thought they were going to cruise to victory, but it took this grand slam to put it out of reach. That was a walk-off by Edwin Encarnacion. That put him over the 1,000 RBI mark in his career. And I'll tell you what, it was a crazy, wild game, and it's the first team to do it in history with 2 grand slams and one providing the walk-off. And the last time it was done, you go back into Toronto, the Sky Dome. Dave Roberts, manager of the Dodgers, right? Can you believe that? And Manny Ramirez. And then before that, it was Joe Carter and Corey Snyder. But they needed both those grand slams last night, and you didn't think they were going to at the start of the ball game.
Boy, it was quite a finish, that's for sure. And now, because of the way that game played out, both bullpens were used to the max. They both had starting pitchers going down to the bullpen to warm up in case that game would have gone to extra innings. So what does the Tribe need tonight? Length from Carlos Carrasco.
Well, yeah, now the pressure goes to the starting pitchers. And, you know, I have all the confidence in the world in Carlos Carrasco to go out there. He's been pitching very well. He matches up well with this Angels team. He has one of his best ERAs against them in his career. But for Carrasco, just go out and be yourself. He's got a great slider. Tough to put the ball in play on him. 230 opponent's batting average, which is ranked up there in the American League. And you can see his career numbers, 2-0 and a 180 against the Angels. Carlos, go on out. If you can give them 7, that's exactly what they're looking for.
All right, it's the Indians and the Angels. We'll be back with the play-by-play. Plus, Al and Jensen have the big story about those Kansas City Royals that refuse to go away. And Andre Knott has the story of a members-only club. Hard to gain access to the 600 home run club. He'll have more on that straight ahead.
Straight night, and they'll try to make it 2 in a row over them, 6 in a row overall. Welcome back to center field. Along with Jensen Lewis, Al Pulowski, let's take a look at our big story. That's the Kansas City Royals. They have won 7 in a row because of that. They are hanging around and are just a game and a half back of the Tribe.
And they're playing Royals baseball. Timely hitting, getting a lead to the back end of their bullpen, which now has some reinforcements from the trade they made with San Diego. They really have found their stride. They're feeling confident. They will go up against Anibal Sanchez in Detroit tonight, still lurking, a game and a half back. They had an injury scare last night. Salvador Perez had to leave the game with rib tightness. It sounds like he'll be fine day to day. Should be back on Friday.
And Minnesota, of course, in Los Angeles, not having a lot of luck with the Dodgers, so they are now 4.5.
Yeah.
All right, let's head upstairs. Matt Underwood and Rick Manning have the call on tonight's game, along with Andre Knott. Fellas, take it away.
All right, thanks, Al and Jensen. And, you know, as you guys know, too, the game of baseball is about numbers. You were just talking about numbers, and we equate success in this game with numbers. When you think about historically, for a pitcher, you get to 300 wins, that's almost automatic entry into Cooperstown. For a position player, 3,000 hits, 500 home runs. But there's even a more exclusive club than the 500 home run fraternity, and Andre Knott has more on that now.
Thanks, Matt. Jim Thome was one of 9 players to hit 600 home runs in his career. Only 9 guys have ever done it through the whole history of baseball. Albert Pujols is another one, and this year he became the 9th player to do that. As we know, baseball is a game of numbers, so I went inside the Indians clubhouse to talk to some Indians players about the number 600 and what Pujols has been able to do in his career in tonight's Hear Right Sounds of the Game.
It's an unbelievable number. There's a very small select group of guys who have reached that. So to be able to play against somebody in that club, just to watch him play the game. I remember growing up watching him, and the guy was an animal. Watching him when he was in his days in St. Louis, and then seeing him the last few years over here in Anaheim since I've been in the big leagues. But it's an honor. You don't see something like that all the time.
It doesn't happen very often. You have to combine longevity, consistency, ability, all that, and be able to sustain it. And it's just not easy to do. So that accomplishment is amazing, and we're lucky to be able to play against him. I think
it's something that it shows how consistent he is, and he was in his previous years, and how long he's been playing the game. And to play this game a couple of years is hard enough. To play it 15 plus is extremely hard.
One of the all-time greats, without question, Albert Pujols, and still has 4 years left on his contract with the Angels.
Well, we throw around people that say superstars. This guy's a superstar. Well, Albert Pujols is no doubt a superstar. You just go back and look at his career. He's unbelievable.
Now the Indians have taken the field, and we'll get a look at Mike Scioscia's starting lineup right now for the Angels. It's brought to you by Hankook Tires. Yunel Escobar in the leadoff spot. Mike Trout will hit second, and Albert Pujols batting third. Then it's Cole Calhoun, Andrelton Simmons, Luis Valbuena, then Ben Revere, Martin Maldonado, and Caleb Coward batting ninth.
Carlos Carrasco is our Ohio Honda starting pitcher for the Indians tonight. Carrasco making his 20th start. He in his last 2 starts coming out of the All-Star break, he is 0-1. He had a no decision his last one at San Francisco, although he did leave that game leading 3-2. Bullpen gave it up. He had a no decision, but he's pitched very well against the Angels in his career. 2-0 at 180 earned run average. Let's check that defense, brought to you by Ram. Behind him tonight, Brantley in left, Zimmer in center, Jackson over in right. It'll be Ramirez at third, Lindor at short. Gonzalez gets the start tonight at second, Santana at first, and Gomes doing the catching.
Nick Lentz will call the balls and strikes tonight. Adam Hamari is at first. The crew chief Bill Miller at second. Todd Tishner at third base. And we're ready to go as Carlos Carrasco takes his spot on the bump. Mike Scioscia looking on. His club battled back from a 7-run deficit last night to tie the game, but ultimately losing an extra innings on the Edwin Encarnacion grand slam. Here is Carrasco ready. He fires, and that pitch up and in knocked Escobar off the plate. And he takes an off-speed pitch that didn't miss by much. 2-0. Line drive right at Lindor, and he snares it for out number 1.
Snare is a good word, because I don't know if he even saw that ball. He's got his back to the infield. He's laughing about it. I'm telling you what, he probably didn't even know that thing went into his glove. He jumps up and looks, and he felt it go in there, but he wasn't real sure. Look at him smiling as soon as that ball went in the glove. I guarantee you he didn't know he had it.
Well, he had a couple of those that went right
off
by
his
him
glove
this year.
Yeah. 2 errors like that, and he finally gets another one. He said, I caught one.
That may be why he's laughing.
I know it.
That's exactly why he's laughing, guys.
I know it. I can tell by the look on his face.
After the last one that he missed, he said, maybe I'll never wear a gold glove again, because he goes, I can't catch line drives.
One down for Mike Trout. This guy can sting a line drive or two. Checked. It's a called strike. 0-2. Slider, and he almost went after it, but he held up. And a count 1-2.
Going to try to get him to chase the slider, but he checks.
That time he went after it. And Trout is down on strikes. First K for Carrasco, 2 down in the first.
Well, he comes right back with another good slider, but this time he doesn't check. He makes an offer, and that one was even looked like a little farther out and a little farther down, but he went after it. Carrasco, his first strikeout. That's 131 on the season for him.
And it brings up Albert Pujols. He was 0 for 6 last night. And a fastball in there for strike 1. You and I were talking before the game about Albert Pujols in particular, because someone who will remain nameless was saying that to them he looks like a shell of his former self, and he is 0 for 7 in the series, but you look at his numbers year after year after year, he continues to produce and put up pretty solid statistics. A 1-2-3 first for Carrasco. The Indians are coming to bat. And Terry Francona starting 9, brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Bradley Zimmer leading it off. Frankie Lindor will bat second. Michael Brantley hitting third. Edwin Encarnacion, Jose Ramirez, and Carlos Santana. Then it's Austin Jackson once again. Yan Gomes and Eric Gonzalez will bat 9th.
Ricky Nolasco, the Ohio Hyundai starting pitcher for the Angels, making his 21st start. You can see 4-11 and 5-13. He leads the league in homers allowed, 26 home runs. He's 0-2 in his career against the Indians, and you want to get to this guy early.
And Bradley Zimmer leading off, takes outside, ball 1.
And I say that because he's given up 65 runs, and 44 of those 65 have come in the first 3 innings. And he's given up 26 homers, 35 of the 65 runs off the home run ball.
In the air, deep left center. Trout looking up. It is gone to Souvenir City. Bradley Zimmer's 7th home run of the year gives the Indians a 1-0 lead. You said get him early.
Yes, sir.
Is that early enough for you?
Yes, the first hitter will do. And you know, this kid comes back up after he had 3 hits yesterday in his first grand slam, steps to the plate and hits one out in his first swing. That's pretty awesome. So it's number 7 for Bradley. And boy, ball middle of the plate down, and he elevated it. And that thing just flew out of here. Mike Trout was just standing there watching.
You can almost see his confidence growing with each day he plays in the major leagues. He's hit in 4 straight games now, 7 for his last 10 at the plate. And a pitch down low to Francisco Lindor, who, like Zimmer, is starting to heat up. Lindor has picked up a hit in 5 straight games.
This whole team is starting to heat up.
That's a good point.
You know, you look at them on this homestand. You know, they're 5-0. They've outscored their opponents 40-14, and they're hitting with runners in scoring position. They're getting that feeling back, Matt, and it's matching along with the pitching now is what's going on.
Lindor takes a strike. He's in the hole, 1-2. Frankie, over his last 16 games, has batted .348. Now the 1-2. Pulls it to first. Valbuena will have to beat him to the bag, and he dives head first to do it. 1 down.
And let's check that Angels defense. They are second in the league. They've made only 48 errors, and it's brought to you by WB Mason. Rivera in left, Trout in center, Calhoun in right, Escobar at third, Simmons at short, Coward at second, Valbuena at first. Maldonado is behind the plate. And they've been playing very good defense as a team. The Angels have. They had a 14-game errorless string just snapped a little while ago. And they've only committed 1 error in their last 17 games.
Michael Brantley takes a curveball outside. Brantley has collected a hit in 4 straight games. He smokes one to Valbuena, who snares the line drive, and that's out number 2.
Turnabout is fair play, I guess.
Storylines brought to you by Wayside Furniture. Indians looking for some length from Carlos Carrasco tonight. And right-handed hitters against Ricky Nolasco this year, batting over 300 with 16 homers. He's given up 26. That's the most in the majors. And
now 27.
Well, yeah, you're right. Now 27. And he's got to be somewhat puzzling. I know he's not a kid anymore. And so with each year, the more the innings pile up, it takes its toll, and you just don't know how much is left. But Nolasco lost 7 straight decisions, and then followed that up with back-to-back games against the Dodgers and Seattle, in which he went 15 1/3 scoreless.
Yeah. Well, he's been around a while, as you mentioned. He's beaten 28 of the 30 teams in Major League Baseball. The only 2 teams he has not beat, Miami and the Cleveland Indians.
I wonder, part of the reason is he pitched for Miami.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. He started there. Never had a chance probably after he left. Maybe once or twice, not sure.
Pulled it foul. Ricky Nolasco was originally drafted by the Cubs back in 01. He was a 4th-round pick. He went to the Marlins in the Juan Pierre swap. Juan Pierre went to the Cubs, and then eventually was traded by the Marlins to the Dodgers. And Encarnacion waves at that pitch, and the inning is over. But Bradley Zimmer with one mighty swing as the Indians on top, 1-0 after an inning.
Better than ever. You watch every out-of-market game live at home, in the office, or on the road for just $19.99. Visit MLB TV for the details.
Cole Calhoun to lead off the second for the Angels. 1 for 5 last night with a big 3-run homer.
Yeah, he's the one that responded and answered after the Indians had a 7-run second inning. He came back and hit a 3-run bomb, and it brought him right back. It gave him a lot of confidence yesterday. That was a big win for the Indians, because those guys battled back from a 7-0 lead to push it to extra innings. And you know, when you're on the road, you lose games like that. That can hurt.
Now the 1-1, and Calhoun fouls it out of play. It's one of those things that in all of pro sports, really, when you think about it, I guess any level of sports, when you win a game like that, it brushes away all of the things that went wrong during the game.
Sure,
you're able to
accentuate the positive.
Well, you lose that game, and all of a sudden, all you're focusing on is everything.
What we could have done better.
Yeah, all the missteps along the way. The 1-2. I mean, the Angels after the game, even though they lost, they actually had a pretty good feeling in their clubhouse among the players. Now, no manager feels good about a loss ever, but the players felt like, hey, you know what? We could have very easily just said, well, not our night, 7-0, it's over. But they were to a man saying, hey, we battled back, we fought back, we got it tied, and you know, it's just a matter of a couple things didn't go our way in the end.
Yeah, there's nothing to hang their heads about. You're right. They battled back hard. They're fighting for a wild card spot.
Heck, if it wasn't for the 3 plays, 2 by Brantley and 1 by Zimmer, they might have won that game.
But very easily could have, yes.
But the defense is a big part of the game of baseball, and they made some fantastic plays.
Well, they've had a hard time winning here. The Angels have.
Slow chopper towards second, and Eric Gonzalez will throw him out. 1 down. All right, watch the Bradley Zimmer catch. This was the one right in straightaway center where he goes back and impacts the wall.
Well, that's Fox vision. That's a sprint going. It's almost like going home to first base. 93 feet, he's covering, and then he's got to deal with that wall. He knew, he said he was just looking to try and time his jump to get it, and then when he got there, he knew he was going to hit the wall, but able to hang on and make a beautiful play. And we saw the reaction with Revere. Ooh, got him.
Up and in. Andrelton Simmons will go to first. And the Angels have their first base run.
Just nicked him. Not sure where it got him. Did it get him in the arm? Yes, just grazed him. So,
and it nailed the umpire square.
Yeah, not too bad, but you never know. It looked like it just grazed him. Nothing. I don't think he's going to feel.
Well, it brings up Luis Valbuena. Down and in to Valbuena for ball one. 2 for 5 with a homer, 3 runs batted in last night. That gives him 5 straight seasons of at least 10 home runs.
Well, he's one of those all or nothing guys, and he tries for him too. You can see that batting average still under 200.
I mean, Luis Valbuena, obviously you get a little smarter as you get older as a hitter, but he's essentially the same hitter that he was when he was here in Cleveland. He's a guy who can generate a lot of power. He's got that one hot zone where if you hit it, he can drive you out of the ballpark.
He likes that fastball down and in like the left-handers do. And Carrasco, that was his second 2-0 count. Look at this pitch on our Nissan pitch tracker. A 2-0 pitch. He challenged him, but he likes that ball down a little bit more. He fouled it straight back. Although, you know, you look at it, and it was a good pitch to hit. Want that little comeback fastball inside. And he didn't get it in there.
That is deep to left. Brantley's looking up, and it's off the wall. Coming around third, Simmons will score.
Might have missed third.
And the throw to second base misfires. Valbuena's in there safely with an RBI double, and we are tied at 1.
He might have missed third base if anybody was looking. If he got it, he just barely got it. And the home plate umpire on the rotation had to go to third. I don't know if we're going to have a shot of it or a look at it, but I'll tell you what, it was awfully close.
Well, it looked like Simmons wasn't sure what he was doing at first.
You know, look, let's see if he hits it. See, I don't know if it. Wow. See, he was inside. He might, from my view, I thought he missed it. It would be worth the appeal. Andre, tell him to appeal.
You know, yeah, it's one of those.
I'll tell you what, it was awfully close. I thought he missed it.
And the umpire's right there on top of the
play.
Well,
he is, but watch him. Watch him.
He looks like he got it, maybe.
Maybe just barely got that corner if he did.
And the pitch is in there for a strike to Ben Revere. So Luis Valbuena has driven in 4 runs already in the series now.
And once again, they come right back and answer after the Indians get on the board. They respond.
Good breaking ball. Curveball in there for a strike. And it's 0-2. Revere was 1 for 5 with a double last night. crunches one to center field, but Zimmer will make the catch for out number 2. Time to take a look at our stat of the game, brought to you by Buick. And then in their last 11 head-to-head, the Indians have won 10. That's just flat out dominating.
Yeah, they have been. They have a tough time beating the Indians, or they have recently.
Martin Maldonado with 2 down and a runner in scoring position. Waving at it is Maldonado for strike 1. Missed outside. 1 ball, 1 strike with a runner at second and 2 down here in the second inning in a tie game early. And Maldonado not even close to that breaking ball.
Right now he's getting himself out, because both pitches he has swung at, sliders out of the zone. But I mean, when you're a hitter, right-handers, it's not an easy at bat when you're going against Carrasco with that slider. His slider is tough to hit, just like Corey Kluber's is tough to hit. It's
swung on and missed, and Carlos Carrasco strikes him out to end the inning. 1-1 as we go to the bottom of the second, and Jose Ramirez will lead off for the Tribe, tied for the 3rd best batting average in the American League.
Securely manage your tickets and skip lines by gaining access to our mobile-only gates. Plus, you'll unlock special offers from our partner KeyBank and more. Visit Indians.com for more information.
1-1 as Jose Ramirez leads off. Bottom of the second and takes a strike. In addition to the overall batting average that you saw there, Ramirez has the second best home batting average in the American League at .349. 1 for 4 last night with a double and a run scored. We know Ramirez can get hot, but boy, he'd have to get red hot, and Altuve of Houston would have to fall ice cold because he's running away with the batting race. He's hitting .364. Gene Segura of Seattle is second at .327. Then Ben Gamel and Jose Ramirez began the day hitting .321. Ramirez pokes one to left, right at Revere. One away. Let's go down to Andre.
Matt, I've heard you say this a million times, but I think this makes more sense of it than anything else. Think about all those names you just said. All those guys, like, I can look them in the eye, other than Gamble. They're all 5'7", 5'8", 5'9".
Yeah, not big guys at all.
You know, what does that say about baseball and how it doesn't matter your size or height? You can do a lot of work.
Andre, think about this, to your point. The top 2 home run hitters, Aaron Judge, who's a monster, and Mike Moustakas is right behind him. Moose might come up to his waist.
You're right. He's about 5'11", maybe 5'10", maybe.
But you're right. That's what I love about this game is that, you know, no two players are built alike. As Carlos Santana ropes one into right field, and the Indians have a 1-out base runner on their second hit of the night. I mean, Rick, you know, when you were a kid watching baseball, I mean, who was better than Hank Aaron? And when you meet Hank Aaron in person, you look at him and you think, that's the guy that was the home run.
Oh, man, Hank was slender. Everybody was about 6 foot, 180 pounds. The thing I like about it, when you're talking about Altuve, you're talking about Ramirez, and these guys, they don't try to hit home runs. They go up there and hit. They're hitters. They don't, you know, swing for the fences every time up. That's something that's missing in this game because everybody tries to hit home runs now.
Well, here's Austin Jackson, who's been a really good hitter for the Indians. Just came off the DL yesterday and went 3 for 4. Scored a run.
He had some awesome at-bats last night. He saw, in his 5 at-bats, 33 total pitches last night. So, you know, when he went down, he did his rehab. Boy, he was ready to go when he came back. Had a good night.
He's one of those quiet guys in the clubhouse. Real professional approach, though. He's worked his tail off to get himself back on the field as we take a look at Arcia in the driver's seat. And over his last 10 games, 15 out of 35.
Yeah, and you know, the unfortunate thing, he had to spend 2 times on the disabled list, one with the toe situation, and then his last one. But boy, this guy, when he's really had a good approach for him all year long, and it started right from spring training once he became healthy and able to play.
Call a strike just on the inside corner. And Nolasco gets ahead of him 1-2.
There's that ball running inside. He didn't think it was a good pitch, but Nick Lentz did, the umpire. That's all that counts.
The last stint on the DL for Austin Jackson was a left quadricep injury. And with the Indians making the roster move today, if you missed it, they sent Abraham Almonte to AAA, called up Sean Armstrong to give the bullpen some reinforcement. Double play ball right at the shortstop. Simmons to Cowart on the Balbuena. Inning over. We've played 2. We're tied at 1. Brought to you by Miller Lite. .76 degrees at game time. Light breeze blowing in from right center field. Caleb Cowart, the number 9 hitter, leading off, taking a breaking ball for strike 1. Hit hard but foul.
Young man put a couple of good swings on the baseball yesterday. Our first opportunity seeing him. Scored a couple of runs, had a double and a single. Looked like a good fastball hitter.
Hit him in the foot.
Second guy Carrasco has hit. I'll tell you what, Carlos's control that first time through the lineup has been a little shaky here. You know, the first pitch of the game to Escobar was up and in, and he just hasn't had his good command. There's a slider. It's going to get him on the front foot. He could not get out of the way, so they are 1 for 7 first time through the lineup with 2 hit batters. Carrasco coming into the game, he hit 6 prior to that. Add 2 more, it is now 8. And the last guy that was hit, Simmons, he came around to score the run for the Angels.
Top of the order, Yunel Escobar. 2 hits in his last 21 at bats. But those 2 hits came last night. Brought an 0 for 14 into the game. And he's not happy with
No,
the
he's
call.
saying that ball is not a strike. Carlos with 6 0-2 1-2 counts.
And he struck him out. Third strikeout for Carrasco. 1 down here in the inning.
Well, he didn't mess around. You come after him, you go up and in, you go fastball away, and then you put him away with the slider down.
And now Mike Trout, who Carrasco got with the slider his first time up.
That's the good fastball there, but he located it beautifully after Trout swung it that first time up. He took a slider the pitch before, but then he comes right back and dots that outside corner with the fastball, and that's what you're looking for in the pitch you want to go after, but it was too well located.
And the 1-1 is over the heart of the plate, but a bit high. 2 balls and a strike. Trout's the guy that likes the ball down. And if you miss in the middle of the plate, he'll punish it.
Yeah, oh my goodness. Yes, he will. But he's learned to lay off of the high fastball from when he first came up. He's developed into a great hitter. Like that.
Smacks that into center field. And there are 2 on with 1 out. Our player profile brought to you by Levin Furniture. Albert Pujols, the active leader in all of these categories. Guy has played forever. He's truly is a machine. Saved the 1 year in Anaheim when he had the foot injuries, and that really slowed him down. That was back in 2013 when he hit a career low 258.
Yeah, he's had foot issues, plantar fasciitis, and things like that. You know, and that's for me, when you watch this great player, it's painful to watch him run because, you know, it's almost like he's hobbling down the line. But I'm going to tell you, the guy can still hit. He can still flat out rake.
Yeah, it was not a career low batting average wise. It was a career low in games. He played only 99 games that year. But the 258 average, not a career low, but he only hit 17 homers that year. That's way down from what you expect from him. But he bounced back the next year, hit 28, drove in 105. 2 years ago, hit 40.
Right.
Drove in 95.
And what about last year? 30?
31 and 119.
119. Anybody on any team would take that. And that's, he can't run.
Ironically, you know, to your point about good hitters and so many guys nowadays just trying to hit home runs. It was 2 years ago when he hit 40 homers. That was his career low in batting average when he hit 244 that year.
Yeah, when he first came up, he was high average, high homers, high ribbies, high everything for the first 10, 11 years of his career.
Popped him up. Santana and Eric Gonzalez converge. Carlos says, I'll take it. He does. There are two down.
Well, this ball right there, it runs inside. It looked like Gomes was sitting away for it, looking for a ground ball, but that spin, the two-seam running in, it got down near the trademark, and he popped it straight up into the infield for the second out.
Now let me ask you, because you watched highlights of this guy for years, is that a pitch that, say, 5, 7 years ago he would have been able to get the barrel head out and killed it?
Probably. You know, it's hard to say.
37 now.
I know it. Yeah, you're right. 10 years ago, yeah. You know, but it's hard to say. He's been, you know, good hitters. Sometimes they pop it up. In his day, he didn't pop up too many. He didn't miss too many. Let's put it that way.
Cole Calhoun pops one up, foul out of play.
You know, when you go to up to the plate as a hitter and you get, you know, if you can get your one pitch in that bat and you can put it in play, it's great if you can hit it. But these guys, they make a living out of, you know, hitting mistakes.
Well, he's hit 600, as you pointed out to me, 600 career doubles, right, in addition to the 600 career
He's got over 1,200 extra base hits. Do you know how many? I mean, that's extra base hits. And he's going to get 3,000. Maybe not this year. Maybe he will. But it's remarkable. And then, you know, how many times do you pitch around him?
The 0-1.
Guys like that come by once in a generation, not too often.
We don't know if Miguel Cabrera will play as long as Albert Pujols has, but he's the one guy I can think of in my head that has the ability to attain some of those similar numbers.
Who's that?
Miguel Cabrera.
Oh,
if
yeah.
He plays as long as a guy like Pujols.
Yeah, Miguel, you're right.
But they are rare.
Well, we have the opportunity to watch him play, you know, 18 times a year, 19 times a year against Cabrera, and he's beat up the Indians a lot.
Certainly Mike Trout would be in that conversation too, but again, he's so young. You just don't know what's around the corner in this game. You know, one injury, one catastrophic injury could change everything.
Guys, that was the best part of the conversation. You talk about the 600 home runs. First of all, Corey Kluber laughed and said, he said the same thing about Miggy. He said, well, if I pitch to him, he may get there quicker than anybody else. But I talked to these guys and they said that's what they love about it. They don't know who the next guy will be.
Right.
You know, you could say Miggy.
That's true.
And, you know, because that's what Frankie kept saying. He goes, you can be consistent in your 20s, but who knows how consistent you'll be in your 30s.
Yeah, it's a special human being, man, that gets to 600.
Carrasco with the 2-2. And it's fouled off. Yeah, because there are I don't have any off the top of my head, but there are cases where you can look back and there are some players who have great careers and they just sort of slowly trail off and then eventually fade. Then there are some guys who just stop and then boom, it's over.
Crash and burn.
Yeah, within a couple of years they're out of the game and you wonder what happened to that guy.
But people don't realize when you, I mean, just look at a normal person. I'm talking not an athlete, a normal person. When you get to your 30s, your whole body changes. It does the same thing as an athlete. You just have to try and stay up the curve. But the weightlifting and everything that's going on now has helped, you know, maybe get you a little bit further, but still the age catches up to everybody. It's a young man's game.
Look at Grady Sizemore. He's the one guy just popped into my head. Phenomenal player for a long time, but there was no graceful decline. It just suddenly.
He played every day. He played 100% at all times.
Yeah.
You run into walls, you have a few injuries, and the next thing you know, your body just can't handle it anymore.
2 on, 2 out, and a 2-2 pitch to Calhoun. 47th already for Carrasco here tonight, and he struck him out with it. Good fastball up and away. Registers his 4th K. 1-1, middle of the 3rd.
As the Indians are going to close out this series against the Angels, it'll be a 12-10 start. 10,000 fans are going to receive a rally together picnic basket, and that'll be courtesy of Liberty Ford. Great tickets.
Blanket.
Oh, we're not going to give a basket away tomorrow? We'll make it a blanket.
You're not the average sports commentator. No, it's going to be a great day. Expecting a big crowd.
Let's hope so.
So hope you fans get out here early. Get your.
Come on out, Boo Boo. You too, Yogi.
Jan Gomes takes the strike. If the folks at Hanna-Barbera are still in business, we might have something going for next year. We might have a new promo item. The Rick Manning picnic basket.
Yeah. That was my last read with it, and it's the first time I said blanket instead of basket. I mean, a basket instead of blanket.
People are going to be showing up tomorrow. Well, where's the basket?
Yeah. Come on up to the booth. We'll get it for you.
The 0-2 pitch is swung on and missed. Boy, he ate him up with a good fastball. Great movement. 2nd K for Nolasco. T-Mobile Unlimited Baseball break. Jacob deGrom 8-0 in his last 8 starts with a 1.61 ERA. Whew. How many teams would covet him if they could try to pry him loose from the Big Apple?
Oh, I'm sure just about any of them.
Eric Gonzalez takes a curveball outside. Now the 1-0. Chopped in the hole. And Simmons can't come up with it cleanly, and Gonzalez is aboard with an infield single. It was just beyond the reach of Escobar, and Simmons went to try to go to the backhand. Even if he comes up with it, it was going to take a phenomenal play, which he's capable of.
Yeah, he really is. That, you know what it did? That ball hit the edge of the grass where the dirt is, and it stayed down. I thought it was going to be a bigger hop. You see how that thing stayed down on the ground? And I think it fooled him a little bit, to be honest with you.
So 1 on, 1 out for Bradley Zimmer. Zimmer clobbered a home run to start the game. It's the 3rd different Indians player to hit a leadoff homer this year.
Kipnis, Santana, and now him. Well, he smoked this one into left center field. And boy, when he gets the arms extended, he's big, he's strong. You don't realize it. I don't know if he realizes it, but he's going to continue to grow. And you just stay that approach right there, and it's going to be fun to watch.
It is fun to watch a left-handed hitter with that kind of power who can hit the ball out to all fields. And his speed is certainly something that separates him. He's a big guy. He's got power. But the speed, the ground he covers defensively in the outfield, and then when he gets on base, as Terry Francona said it after the game last night, when he gets on base, everybody else on the other side has to kind of move forward in their chair and say, all right, let's be on our toes here.
Yeah, he's a difference maker.
Speaking of which, there goes Gonzalez trying to steal a bag. The throw, and a perfect throw, and a great slap tag by Simmons. And Gonzalez is nabbed.
That was close.
Second time
I'll tell you what.
stand.
It was bang bang. Last night it doesn't count. It was a hit and run that was missed. But it was close. He almost got that hand in. Head down. He's going straight forward. He never looked back. And here comes the throw. And here comes the tag. And he did get him. But it was really close. That throw was right there.
2 games, 2 stolen base opportunities, and they've nabbed him by mere inches both times, thanks to perfect execution by Martin Maldonado. And ball 4. So Zimmer is aboard with 2 down. And it'll bring up Francisco Lindor. Down to Andre.
You know, Matt, I'm not disagreeing with you when you talk about Zimmer hitting it to all fields, but the thing that stood out to me is we haven't seen him pull the ball down the right field line very often.
No.
It's almost gap to gap, and it's almost like he waits and lets the ball get deep, and I think that's why you see all that power to left center and in the center field.
Yeah, well, that's good. That keeps him on the baseball. He'll learn how to pull the ball.
Yeah, most veteran hitters I've talked to, and I know we talked to Jim Thome about this, the last thing for those guys to come was pulling the ball.
Yeah.
You learn to hit to all fields, and then, all right, we'll teach you how to get the barrel out and hit for power. If you can hit, we can teach you how to hit for power. Not that he doesn't hit for power, but I'm saying, you know, you want to see a guy pull the ball, he'll do that with some power.
They'll slow it down. They'll make mistakes with breaking balls, and if you stay with that swing, he'll end up pulling enough.
And the other thing too about Zimmer, Andre, is that he hasn't physically matured yet. I mean, he's a big dude as it is, but what's he going to look like in 3-4 more years?
Yeah.
I mean, remember when Michael Brantley came up and he was a twig? Now he's filled out physically. I mean, Zimmer could be, who knows?
Yeah, well, I think you want him to keep that speed so he can play him in center field, but don't you? Even Frankie is way bigger than he was a year and a half ago.
Quick throw over. Zimmer back with a dive. It's like you look back at I just mentioned Jim Thome. Remember what he looked like as a rookie, and then fast forward just a few years.
Yeah,
I mean, he filled out in a hurry. Another toss over.
We remember Thome's first home run in Yankee Stadium that he hit to right field up there in the second or third deck, and it was with Joel Skinner's bat, by the way. That was a long time ago.
I think he was wearing number 6. Remember, he didn't have 25 yet.
It was.
Zimmer looks like he's itching to go. He's not, and the pitch is outside. 2 balls, no strikes.
No, right now you don't have to steal every time you get on. There's 2 outs. You already made an out trying to steal a base here, and now Frankie's in a good hitter's count. Let him go ahead and hit here with 2 outs. Maybe plug the gap, and he'll be able to score from first.
So it nailed the pitcher. Nolasco recovers, throws to first, not in time. That absolutely hit him flush. And out comes Mike Scioscia and the training staff to check on him.
That hurt. And I'll tell you what, he had the guts to get out there and try and throw it. He almost threw it down the first baseline. And that would have been dangerous with Zimmer on second base. But this caught him right on the backside. He goes down and limps, and watch the throw. Tried to get rid of it. That hurt. Man, that got there in a hurry. I'll tell you what, that ball got to him a lot harder than he threw it to the plate. So he's just give him a couple of warm-ups, and he's got to let the sting. That's just like getting hit by a pitch.
Well, Murph said it went to the batter at 91. It came back to Nolasco at 105.
No kidding. That doesn't surprise me. So that hurts. That's like getting hit with a 105-mile-an-hour fastball. But he beats it out. Ouch. Now it's starting to hurt. Look at
he's feeling it.
Oof. Yeah. That would have hit Rico Curdy. Would have hit his wallet. He used to carry it in his back pocket.
It would have ricocheted into the seats.
Yeah, it might have been a ground rule double.
There's Michael Brantley with 2 down and 2 on in a tie game, bottom of the 3rd. It also tells you a little something about Ricky Nolasco right there. At age 34, knowing that this is a team that's been decimated by injuries and a bullpen that was used to the hilt last night. He can't come out in the 3rd inning. If he's got anything left, he's going to stay out there.
Yeah.
Two balls, no strikes.
Now falling behind the hitters. And those 2 guys are hoping, hey, you know, stay around, please. We can't get into that bullpen again with a noon game tomorrow here in the 3rd.
Well, I talked to Charlie before the game, and he said they had to make a move today. They had to send their only left-hander out to call up another arm to give him some reinforcement. 2-1. So Jose Alvarez, the lefty, was sent back to the minors, and they called up Brooks Pounders.
That might have helped him out a little bit right there, giving him that strike, but it's 2-1 count.
Brooks Pounders sounds like a good name for a slow pitch softball player.
Yeah, not a pitcher.
2-1 pitch. Brantley takes 3 balls and a strike. Even though we don't see the Angels all that often, Nolasco, no stranger to the Tribe because he spent time with the Twins.
Right.
Three-one pitch. And Cowart throws him out. Wasn't a true shift, but he was positioned perfectly to make the play on that hard hit grounder. We're tied at 1 through 3. For the Angels, Simmons, Valbuena, and Revere due up. Carlos Carrasco retired the side in order in the 1st. Allowed a run in the 2nd. Had a couple of base runners in the 3rd with 1 out, but worked out of that. Andrelton Simmons has been on base in every at-bat in the series so far. He had 3 singles last night, 2 walks, and now hit by a pitch his first time up this evening, and he's scored 3 runs already. He says, what? Called a strike on the outside edge, 1-1. Last night's strike zone was definitely inconsistent, especially early in the ball game. Simmons had a pretty good hot streak offensively. He's got 8 hits in his last 15 at bats, but even if you go back over his last 30 games, he's hit well over 300.
Yeah, he got off to a slow start, but boy, has picked up the pace. And he's a gamer, boy. He can play. He can play the other side of the ball good defensively.
Fouled it off.
I'd like to send out a couple of birthdays. Mary Margaret Federici of Findlay is turning 103 years old today. Happy birthday to you. Dorothy Allenson of University Heights is 90. And Josephine Williams of Ravenna, 89. Happy birthday.
Two. And a bit inside, full count. This one into center field for a base hit. Third hit for the Angels.
He continues to pound the baseball. He's going to be at 300, if not over it, real soon. He hit this one, a nice line drive, and there's a mistake. Carlos has made a couple of mistakes. That fastball's running back inside to the right-handed hitters. He can't get it away. That movement running in, and they're taking advantage of it.
So the Angels with their leadoff man aboard brings up Luis Valbuena. And he got a pitch out over the plate and banged it off the wall and left his first time up for an RBI double. That scored Andrelton Simmons. One ball, one strike to count for Luis Valbuena. Runner goes, and it's pulled foul.
I think Simmons just right there taking off on his own. He has stolen 13 out of 16. And then there you go. You let Valbuena hit. He did take a peek, and good base stealers will do that even if it's a straight steal. When they hear a crack or they want to see where the ball is so they can pick it back up and they know what to do.
Pulls that foul up the first base line. 1-2 to count. Simmons takes off, swing and a miss, throw it out to second. Oh, it's a strike him out, throw him out, double play.
Yes, it was. Well, when you see the pitch where Gomes can come out and get it, well, you're going to look at the sequence first. Fastball inside, that was the one he was running on. And then here you go. You get the fastball away. Gomes up and fires a seed in plenty of time to get Simmons. So a nice strike him out, throw him out, double play.
Check swing foul back by Ben Revere. And I think what we've seen this year really further illustrates how good Rajai Davis was last year, how good Billy Hamilton of the Reds is, because it's just not easy to steal bases anymore.
No, it's an art.
I mean, Yan Gomes is terrific, but there are a lot of catchers now that, if the pitchers give them an opportunity, they all throw well. I mean, we've seen it twice in this series where Martin Maldonado has made a perfect throw right on the bag.
Yes, he has. Gomes has been great, man. The quickness, the footwork. 46% of the runners he has thrown out this year. That's high. That's great. There you go. 19 out of the 41 attempted, which is awesome.
One pitch. I wonder also on some of those, I wonder how many of those stolen bases did he even get a throw off? Like, you know, sometimes the guy just gets a great jump where
there's a couple in the transfer I remember he dropped where he had opportunities, but you know, you try to be quick a couple of times, and then hey, when guys get jumps, you're going to steal a base.
Yeah.
It's plain and simple. They steal them off the pitcher.
But most of the time when he gets a throw off,
oh yeah, it's you're gone.
Yeah,
no doubt. And he's been very accurate, and his release is very quick. You give him a chance, and you're in business.
Right now, Carlos Carrasco trying to put away Revere with his 65th pitch of the night, and the payoff is line just beyond the reach of Ramirez. And that will be a 2-out single to keep the inning alive for the Angels.
Well, Ramirez had a chance to take a step, and it was fun. We had a great angle from where we sit. Watch Ramirez, one step, jump, and get up just over his glove. I mean, missed by about a foot.
Second hit of the inning, fourth hit of the game for the Angels. They're really grinding out their at bats against Carrasco tonight.
Yeah, first time up, Maldonado was a little aggressive, swinging a lot of sliders away. This time he takes one for a strike now in his second at bat to get a good look at it.
I can see where as a hitter you'd want to be aggressive against him because he's not fun to face when you're down on the count.
Well, that's when he gets to 2 strikes, he buries you. There's only one other pitcher after he gets ahead of you 0-2 where he is right now that's better than him, and that's Chris Sale. You know, his batting average at 0-2 is .77. You got a chance of getting a hit. So you might as well just go back to the dugout. Save your bat.
Maldonado struck out his first time up. And that's in the dirt, gets away.
That got Gomes' hand. That had to hurt. It sounded like flesh. He's not going to throw it if he doesn't have to, because that hurt. See if you can see it get his hand. He's going out there with the glove, and boom, right into the palm of the hand. I heard it. And that does not feel good. That's going to be numb for a little bit. Let me see if he's got a hit this inning. He'll be up 5th.
He's trying to work the feeling back.
Oh yeah, no question. It's numb right now. It's tingling.
And of course you get a foul tip, and that nails him on the foot. That's why when you meet old catchers, 1-2. Now low, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Maldonado stays alive. Way outside, and nice stab by Gomes.
See, the first inning he had a great one, a 9-pitch, then an 18-21. He's getting more and more. He averages 15.5, so 15.5 pitches per inning. Right now he'd normally be sitting at about 60 on his normal start, but he's at 72 and climbing, 73 and climbing.
And the payoff pitch. Right field and well struck. Back is Jackson onto the warning track. He pulls it down to end the inning. Couple of hits. One man stranded thanks to Yan Gomes. 1-1 middle of the fourth. Clip of the game last night. Edwin Encarnacion ending the game with a grand slam. Marking the first time in Major League Baseball history that a team had 2 grand slams in one game, with one of them ending the ball game. And for Edwin, his first walk-off in an Indians uniform had him feeling very good about things after the ball game. Breaking ball in there for a strike.
Speaking of a breaking ball, Matt, and I want to ask both of you guys, were you surprised that he was sitting on a slider first pitch in that situation last night?
No, I think he sits on slider a lot.
I do too.
More, yes. I'll tell you what, sometimes he swings at the fastball, but he sits on slider a ton.
Now, do you think that he's more of a slider hitter? And I'm just asking because I've kind of picked up on that as well.
Yes, I do.
I think but it's almost like he sets you up with the fastball at times too.
I know it. Well, of course he does. You know, once you hit a slider or something, and even if you hang it, he thinks he's not going to get it, and he'll get the fastball. I don't think he can catch up to the fastball like he used to. But I think he sits on sliders a lot.
Now the 3-1.
There's a fastball. Fastball count, 3-1. He was a little late on it.
Good location, a little movement here too. It was down.
Yeah, it was probably a ball.
Now there's your fastball, maybe just a tad above the belt.
But you see, he takes a healthy cut with the fastball, but he doesn't, you know, square it up. He fouls it back like a lot of hitters do when it's up.
I got you, Brady. Walked him. And Encarnacion has piled up a ton of walks here of late. It's his 7th walk in his last 19 at-bats. Injury report brought to you by the attorneys at Elk & Elk. Pair of Cardinals going down, and that's bad news for St. Louis as they try to remain in contention for a wild card spot, but that may be fading fast because you look at the wild card, and Arizona and Colorado are in pretty good spots right now. It's their wild cards to lose because it's going to be tough for them to catch the Dodgers the way LA is playing.
Yeah,
Dodgers have 70 wins already.
They have 70 wins, and we're not even into August.
But Arizona won big again today, so they have 58 wins.
Well, those 3 teams that we're talking about, it seems like everybody had them as a shoe-in for the the division winner in both wild cards in May, the way those teams started out.
Hit foul at the first base side. Jose Ramirez flying to left, his only time up tonight. Indians started with a leadoff homer from Bradley Zimmer. It's their only run. Angels countered in the second inning with an RBI double from Luis Valbuena. That's been it so far. Squibbed up the third baseline.
That's a thing of beauty.
Absolutely. 2 on, nobody out.
Excuse me. Please stay fair. It certainly did. They're playing back, and there's nothing you could do. Just a cute shot right off the end of the bat. Couldn't have rolled it out there with your hand any better. So good start to the inning. First and second, nobody out.
And it's going to bring up Carlos Santana, who hit a line drive to right field his first time up, and over his last 20 games has batted .301, scoring a dozen, driving in 14. Missed outside. Bounced it in there. 2 balls, no strikes. Ricky Nolasco grew up in Southern California, about 50 miles outside of Anaheim, but when he was a kid, he was a Dodgers fan because that was his dad's team. And when he was 10 years old, he attended a game at Dodger Stadium when Kevin Gross threw a no-hitter. And the Dodgers catcher that night was Mike Scioscia. So how cool for him as a 10-year-old to go watch a game where there was a no-hitter, and you end up pitching on a team where that guy is your manager. Hammered into right field. Santana's 2 for 2, coming around third. Edwin Encarnacion racing home. Cole Calhoun's throw to the plate is in time, and they got him. That's a terrific throw by Calhoun, who has a great arm. And Encarnacion is cut down as the Indians made a bid to take the lead.
That was a great throw by Calhoun, and he kept it down. They couldn't move up. That's a perfect throw. Santana got on top of a high fastball. Watch the throw coming in. Runners had to hold. They didn't cut it. One hop right there, and he slides right into the glove. What a great throw. Now they're going to take a look at it. Like he slid right into the glove.
It did from that angle, but the angle we showed previously, it might appear as though Encarnacion's foot gets the plate before he slides into the tag. This is another one of those. It's going to be dependent upon the angle in which you take a look at. All right, here's a look. Does his foot get there first on the corner of the plate? This angle, he looks like he's out.
Yeah, I think he's out. That angle right there, it looks like they got him. That's going to be tough to overturn. That throw was just maybe a foot over towards the first base side, but it was a strong throw. It was a one-hop throw. He comes over. I'll be surprised if that's overturned. But you had to send him. It was bang bang. You got to make a perfect throw, and it looked like Calhoun did. That would be the first out of the inning if it stands, and you'd still have runners at first and second. But they are certainly going to take a chance and challenge it.
Well, it's the angle that we showed you that is from the third base side looking back toward home plate that is the most compelling argument for him to be safe. The question is there enough there to overturn it? No. So with one out, Austin Jackson will be coming to the plate. So the Indians use their challenge tonight unsuccessfully.
There you go. He comes in and it looked like he had the glove right there at the plate where he had no other choice but to slide into it. So
this is the angle where he thought maybe that foot got the corner of the plate before the glove.
Call was confirmed, so it's one out. Runners at first and second.
And the batter is Austin Jackson, who grounded into a double play his first time up. During the Indians' 5-game win streak, they've batted an incredible .396 with runners in scoring position.
Yeah, they've done great lately.
Unfortunately, they just got a hit with a runner in scoring position, but didn't get him home, thanks to a great throw by Calhoun. Jackson turned it loose, but he's in the hole 0-2.
Let's finish up our birthdays here. Babe Fashenko of Youngstown turning 87. Dolores Schaefer of Marshallville is 85. Happy birthday to you both. And Frank and Irene Verbiak of North Olmsted celebrating their 65th wedding anniversary. Congratulations.
Missed outside with a fastball. Two on, one out. And Jackson shoots it out of play.
Third innings, but he's had 6 starts and 7 appearances against the Indians, and that's when he was with Minnesota.
There's the 1-2. Oh, he got him looking. So Nolasco with a big strikeout, and now there are 2 down, and he's got a chance to get out of this unscathed.
He's got a little movement on this pitch. The old 2-seamer comebacker. Good pitch. Gets the call. Outside edge. Out number 2.
Carlos Enrique Nolasco. He goes by Ricky, not because it's a nickname or a form of Enrique, but because his dad was, as I mentioned before, such a huge Dodgers fan. And his dad, Emilio, his dad's favorite player was Rick Monday.
Still doing the games on radio for him.
Fouled away.
Well, Gomes getting a chance to hit in this inning after we saw that ball go off his hand. And the first pitch, he fouls it off his toe. Seems like it's one of those nights for him tonight.
Really, don't beat yourself up over it. Broke his bat. It just continues if you're Yan Gomes. Like, okay, what next? Taking a ball off the bare hand, a foul tip off his leg, fouls the ball off of his toe, breaks his bat.
Well, how about an 0-2 base hit? That would cure a lot.
Yeah. He's had a hit in back-to-back games. Threw a couple of walks last night, scored a run. Just
breaking ball.
Oh, missed it by maybe a foot.
He caught a hanger, and he's mad. He's upset with himself. He was a little too quick on it, but he caught it. I mean, he had a good pitch to hit 0-2. There's a mistake, and there it is, foul. Yeah. I had one. I let it get away. It's like having that big fish hooked. You can't get him in the boat.
Well, especially when you're down 0-2, you don't expect to get anything good to hit. Takes that off the plate. 1-2. And there's your 2-out base hit into right field. Racing around third, Ramirez will score. Now the throw goes to third. It's offline and Santana's safe.
I can't believe he's safe, but he
Yan
is.
Gomes with a 2-out RBI single to right gives the Indians the lead. He was down to the count 0-2, took a pitch, and then he takes it the other way to give the Indians the lead.
Nice hitting by Gomes right here. He got that little sinking fastball in, or it might have been a changeup, but he takes it the other way. Santana stopped on his way to third base. He comes around second, and look, and you can see that Calhoun realized I've got him dead to rights, but the throw was offline where Escobar could not get it and come back in time. He started it back up. He could have had 2 assists in 1 inning. Good hitting, 2-out Lightning gives the Indians a 2-1 lead.
And now Eric Gonzalez, who had a base hit his first time up, an infield single.
See, watch him stop. He's going to look, and he was looking to see if Calhoun was going to throw. What are you looking for? Keep right on going.
Well, you're that far.
You know, and then he dodged it. I mean, he already committed. He was around the base, and he was going to stop. But he ended up getting in there safely.
Gonzalez way out in front of it, and it's 0-2. So Ricky Nolasco trying to get out of the inning with only 1 run allowed. He's already been saved a run thanks to a great throw in right field from Calhoun that caught Encarnacion at the plate. Now he's got Gonzalez in the hole 0-2, and he lays off.
Barely.
Eric at times is very aggressive at the plate.
Well, you know what? It's okay getting
swing.
aggressive when you're a young hitter. But when you're a young hitter and you get in there like this, you can't be sitting on breaking ball. And what does he do? He swings at the first 2 breaking balls. I can see if it's fastball, get after it. It's something you like. But early in the count, rarely he doesn't have a book on him to know him that he's going to throw him a breaking ball. So I'm surprised he swung at the first 2.
Swung at that one as well. Innings over, but the Indians reclaim the lead. Yan Gomes with the 2-out opposite field RBI single. 2-1 Cleveland as we head to the 5th. Indians on top as we head to the 5th inning, and Carlos Carrasco now has the lead 2-1. Caleb Cowart hit by a pitch his first time up. It's been one of those games where you can just kind of sense that Carrasco is trying to battle his way through. He doesn't have his best stuff, maybe not as sharp as he is, as we're accustomed to seeing.
Right.
but he's only allowed 1 run. He has struck out 5. He's given up 4 hits.
Hasn't walked anybody, but he has hit 2 guys.
A little bit outside, 2-2.
Yeah, you look at Carlos's splits, and on the road he's 7-2, 287 earned run average. At home he's 3-2 with a 469. I don't know what it is.
Chopped it, and no, foul ball. Well, while we have a second here, I want to send out get well wishes to our man John Adams, who is audibly absent here tonight. You're used to hearing the drum beat from the bleachers in left field, but John not feeling well, so we want to wish him get well soon. Hope to see you back here at the ballpark, John.
Hope to hear you.
I'm sure he's at home watching. Right back to Carrasco, who fires to first for out number 1. In-game recap brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. Indians struck first in the first. Leadoff man Bradley Zimmer with a homer. It was 1-0. But right back came the Angels in the second. Luis Valbuena just missed a homer, but he doubled home Andrelton Simmons to tie it. And then Yan Gomes just gave the Indians the lead 2-1 with a 2-out RBI single. Slicing foul, out of play.
You know, when you talk about Carrasco and you're saying maybe not as sharp tonight, he certainly is not, because the first time through the lineup he threw 29 pitches, which is good. Second time through 50. So he had some difficulty there getting through. Going through now for the 3rd time.
Right at the third baseman, Ramirez. And there are 2 down. Hey, grab your friends and come on down to the yard. And next time, get yourself a district ticket. It's only $13. Presented by Sports Time Ohio, and your first drink is on us. You got the drink rails in left. They're in right field. It's a great spot to be, and they are packed and enjoying a beautiful summer night. It is the social spot.
When you get out there on the weekends, boy, you are crammed in, because that is jam-packed.
Mike Trout bounces one up the gut, cut off by Lindor, throws him out. Angels go 1-2-3 for the second time tonight. Carlos Carrasco settling in 2-1 Cleveland.
Keep you guys up to pace with the newest member of the mini ball family. This guy right here has got a Silver Slugger Award winner. You guys want to guess who this might be? He has a face that's not smiling. You think that makes sense of that one for everybody? There it is. Michael Brantley is the newest member of the mini ball family. Number on the back, Silver Slugger. These guys are getting pretty good at this, man.
I like the Silver Slugger. That's a really good addition. Really creative. Well done. Bradley Zimmer takes a big curveball down and in.
Well, he has homered and walked tonight.
Popped him up, and out goes Kellert, the second baseman. One down. Right back to Andre.
Well, you know, talking about the young guys for the Cleveland Indians and Bradley Zimmer as well as Francisco Lindor. One thing Terry Francona loves is last night Bradley Zimmer had a tough play out in center field, but he never hung his head, and he came back and made some more plays for the team. Very reminiscent of what we saw earlier in the week from Francisco Lindor. And he said today, that's something you really can't teach a young guy, but he loves that they're resilient, they believe in themselves, and that they don't hang their heads. He goes, when you get a young guy that hangs his head, because that's what worries you, because you don't know how long it's going to hang with them. He says that one thing he's liked about these two, they make a mistake and they want to get right back out there. They want the ball hit to them and they want to go up and hit. That's a sign of somebody he wants on his team.
That's only normal to make mistakes out there. It's really a game of failure, and that's how you learn from your mistakes. You know, you're talking about maybe diving for that ball and he let it get by him and they scored a run even though they got the guy out at third. That's how you learn in situations like that. So that it is good. You can't get down on yourself.
Now, what ultimately has to become frustrating for manager, for coaches, is when they work with players and the same mistakes are repeated over and over again.
Yeah, and that happens. You have to learn to.
Ground ball to first. Valbuena takes it himself. 2 down.
You know, here's the one we're talking about last night. That ball, it's going to get down. He's got no chance to catch that ball. It gets by him, but there was a man on base that's going to end up coming to score. But then he comes back, and late in the game, there was a runner on base, and he takes one away. He made a beautiful catch to save the day. But that's all situation. You know, instincts. You see that ball, you want to go get it at that point in time, but the scoreboard dictates when you can go ahead and try and make that play. And at the time he did, it wasn't the right time. I think the Indians had a lead. There was a man on first base. They were up 1.
And Brantley takes a strike.
Yeah, man on first base. There was nobody out. Escobar was the hitter in the 6th inning.
Yeah, and
that was the 7th run in the ball game.
The other thing about that play too is they made a pitching change right after that. And you had Brantley in left, Austin Jackson in right, and both of them walked to center. And I'm sure they probably talked him through it, because they were once young outfielders. Young, you know, Jackson was a center fielder.
He was a center fielder. Absolutely right. I wouldn't be surprised if he did say that. It wasn't the right time to maybe dive for a ball, give the base hit.
Brantley takes it's up high, 2-2. And that's, people always, you know, wonder sometimes, you know, what truly is the role of a veteran player, a guy who's maybe past his prime. Well, that's one of them, you know, just to help the younger players with situations. As you said, Rick, you know, players, it's not that they don't listen to coaches, but the words carry a little more weight when it comes from another player.
Yeah, sure it does. A lot more. And I hope you know, some other players, which I'm sure it happened, maybe Andre would know about this, last night on the hit and run with Urshela, never even swung the bat. And you had Gonzalez stealing the base.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's a mistake. You got to learn from that, man. The hit and runs on you, got to swing the bat.
Well, there was some conversation between the two players afterwards, is all I will say. Not bad, but there's some conversations of what to do when the hit and run sign is put on. I'll put it that way.
Yeah, it's called swing the bat.
Right.
The manager said that's why he put it on, or he could have bunt in that situation.
Well, you know, we've given a lot of credit to the younger guys that have been up here with Jason Kipnis and Lonnie Chisenhall hurt. And I got to ask you guys, isn't that a concern when you get in a tight game and you start putting signs on and you got two young guys that aren't here all the time, and you do have some concerns, don't you, of what they pick up on and what they don't know?
Know the signs, period. Know the signs.
You didn't know that was the answer coming.
Don't make excuses, Andre.
This is a no excuse zone.
Exactly.
Outside full count.
Not that tough.
Not that tough. But at the same time, you saw that with two young players, and both are competing there was a mistake made last night, and Matt said this earlier. A lot of things get magnified when you win, and we kind of forget about the other things. But that could have lost the game for you.
Very easily.
Yeah, it would have been talked about a lot more than what it was if they lost.
Brantley pops the 3-2 up, and the Indians go in order. We go to the 6th, 2-1 Cleveland.
Let's go to Detroit. Kansas City's looking for their 8th straight, and they're well on their way. Jorge Bonifacio with a RBI single there to left, scoring Whit Merrifield. The Royals are up 4-0, bottom of the 5th inning. Ian Kennedy has a one-hitter right now. Let's send it over to Matt and Rick for more on tonight's game. Fellas?
All right, thanks, Al. Here is Albert Pujols to lead off the 6th inning for the Angels. 0 for 2 on the night. Carlos Carrasco's made 85 pitches. 55 of them have been strikes. And Pujols, first ball swinging, grounds it to Ramirez, who takes his time and throws him out, 1 down. Well, last night in the 11th, it was Dan Otero on out of the bullpen facing Albert Pujols with the go-ahead run at third base. And he gets the comebacker to get out of the jam. And the Indians would then win it in the bottom of the 11th. And that's one of those moments for a pitcher, you know, who cares if the guy's in his prime or not? You're facing Albert Pujols with the game on the line. That's a big moment right there. And I know Dan Otero had some thoughts on that he shared with Andre.
Well, the story goes like this. He was going to kill me if he gave up a big hit, because before yesterday's game, I was talking to Dan about facing Pujols, and he says when he was first coming up with the Oakland A's and Pujols just came over with the Angels, first time he got to pitch in the 6th inning of a minor league game, guess who the first big league hitter he had to see was?
Ground ball to second. Gonzalez has it. Now, you said minor league game?
It was in the spring training.
Spring training game.
So
okay.
Spring training. He finally gets to pitch in the 6th inning for the A's, and he thinks he's making his way up. He goes out to the mound. He looks up, and it was the first time Pujols came over to the Angels. He said he got a lump in his throat. He said he got nervous. He started sweating. He couldn't believe that that's who he was going against. And he said he promptly gave up a double that he thought was going to take the wall down. So we had that conversation yesterday, and he goes, I come into the game, and I look who's coming up, and I go, darn it, Andre, why did you make me talk about that? But he just said that it was amazing because it opened his eyes to, I'm in the big leagues now. This guy is a Hall of Famer, and I got to find a way to get him out every single time.
Yes, indeed. He did a good job last night. Got the win in the ball game.
Well, I was thinking, you know, it had to be similar when you first came up. There were guys that you were probably teammates with, and all of a sudden you're playing in Milwaukee, and he's at the end of his career, but it's Hank Aaron.
Oh, no, I played against Hank when he was with Milwaukee DH when I was with Cleveland.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But you're playing with guys who had to face him. They had to be going, that's Hank Aaron.
Oh, I know it. Quick wrists. Yes, indeed.
0-1 on the way. And Simmons breaks his bat. Ramirez gloves it, throws it.
Good inning.
Got him. How about Carlos Carrasco? It's a 5-pitch 6th, and he has retired 7 straight.
Under with the purchase of an adult ticket. Seats are located in the family deck that's near the kids clubhouse and are only available at Indians.com.
Edwin Encarnacion looks at a pitch down low from Ricky Nolasco. So both starting pitchers giving their manager good start here tonight.
Yeah, just what they needed. Both sides. The Indians have 7 hits. The Angels have 4.
In there for a strike. 2-1. Edwin walked in the 4th. And he lines this one to Simmons. 1 away. Well, the series wraps up tomorrow right here at noon. Trevor Bauer will go for the Indians. J.C. Ramirez scheduled to pitch for the Angels. Our coverage begins with Indians live at 11:30. First pitch at noon right here on Sports Time Ohio, or streaming live on Fox Sports Go. Jose Ramirez, infield single and a run scored in the fourth. Almost got him on the back leg. Skips out of the way. In the fourth inning, Ramirez, after Edwin Encarnacion had walked to start it, he swung at a pitch and literally hit it right off the end of his bat up the third baseline. He couldn't have bunted it any better. And the Indians had 2 on, nobody out. And then Carlos Santana singled into right field. Encarnacion was thrown out at the plate. And then after Austin Jackson struck out, Yan Gomes down on the count, singled into right field. Ramirez scored to give the Indians the lead, and that's where we stand now here in the 6th. Just a bit outside in a full count. You can see Ramirez, he was thinking about it. No, I don't think that's a strike, and he was right. Right at the second baseman, Cowart. 2 down. And that's going to bring up Carlos Santana, who is 2 for 2 on the night. 2 singles, both of them into right field.
Yeah, both with authority. He's hit both the pitches very hard. I told you earlier, the 44 of the 65 runs given up by Nolasco this year have come in the first 3 innings, and his only blemish was that Bradley Zimmer home run in the first, and that was the 27th he has allowed on the year, which is the most.
Now the 2-1. Santana bouncing back after an 0 for 5 performance last night in a game where just about everybody in the Indians lineup had a hit or a run scored or reached base. This one's popped to center. And Nolasco has set down 7 straight. 2-1 Cleveland through 6. Luis Valbuena will lead off the 7th inning for the Angels. A little low. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Carrasco's last 6 outs have come on the ground.
got him. Boy, that's going to tie the game 2-2. Deep into the bullpen. And Valbuena continues to torture the Indians. That's his second home run of the series. And he's now driven in 5 runs for the Angels.
Well, he found the zone. Carrasco did, and that was down with a fastball. And I'll tell you what, Valbuena gave it a ride, tied this ball game up. That is his 11th home run. And the 16th given up by Carlos. Watch the fastball down. They wanted it upstairs. He throws it right there down middle of the plate, and he crushes it. So we got a new ball game here in the 7th.
And up comes Ben Revere.
So Valbuena has driven in both the Angels runs tonight, a double in the 2nd and now the homer in the 7th.
Revere pulls it foul. Indians already won a 2-1 game on this homestand, but this didn't have the feel of a game that they were going to be able to win 2-1. Punched into the gap left center, cut off by Brentley. Even though Carrasco had retired 7 in a row coming into the inning, he had to deal with a lot of traffic prior to that. Mickey Callaway is going to go out for a brief visit with Martin Maldonado coming up.
Well, he breezed through those last couple of innings. You're thinking, okay, he settled down. He had all ground ball outs. He fell behind Valbuena and gave up the home run. Then Revere fights one off, goes into left center field for the base hit. Well, Shaw getting loose. Carrasco looked like he's running out of gas. Maldonado coming up for the 3rd time. Carrasco handled him easily the first time on the sliders, and then he put up a pretty good at bat that 2nd time up. He flew out deep to right field, but he was able to lay off the sliders. He couldn't do the first at bat.
Well, those ground balls you talked about that Carrasco piled up 6 straight. He could use another one right here, especially with the heavy-legged Maldonado at the plate. He's going to square around. He jabbed at it. They're going to say he pulled the bat back. I guess he did. Bunts it out. Well done. Toward the mound. Carrasco's only play at first. And Revere into scoring position with 1 out. And here comes Tito to make his move. Stay tuned for Training Camp Daily. It's coming up very shortly here. The Browns will be lining up to get themselves ready for the NFL season. It debuts tomorrow at 11 on Sports Time Ohio and streaming on Fox Sports Go. Cleveland Clinic call to the bullpen has been made. We'll be right back. Carlos Carrasco went 6 in the third, made 99 pitches, but he gave up the tying run here in the 7th, and now the go-ahead run in scoring position for the Angels with 1 out. Brian Shaw making his 49th appearance on the year in this game number 99 for the Indians. Caleb Cowart was hit by a pitch in the 3rd, tapped one back to the mound in the 5th. Shaw checks the runner, the 1-1, and it's fouled out of play. And so the count now 1-2. Fisted foul out of play. Brian Shaw's first 2 years in the majors with the Diamondbacks, Charlie Nagy was his pitching coach. And Charlie said even then, Shaw was just one of those remarkable guys who just, you know, in the players' parlance, he has a rubber arm. He just, just seems like he's always ready to pitch. He's never tired, never unable to answer the bell.
Well, he still is that way. He's got that one, but just couldn't hold on to it there as it gets out of the glove of Gomes. Don't even know if it hit him in the glove, but.
Matt, as you say that, Tito had an interesting remark about Brian Shaw today, talking about him basically leading baseball the last 4 years in appearances. He says he thinks Brian Shaw's like an offensive lineman, like a Joe Thomas. No one complains about him until a penalty's called on him, and then everybody complains. He goes, but the guy shows up every day, and he said he's a godsend. Their bullpen wouldn't be what it was without Brian Shaw the last 4 years.
I don't know if this is a fair comparison, and I don't mean it to compare them as pitchers, but I think along the lines of what Andre said, Arch, I think of Eric Plunk. You know, during the 90s, he was the guy in the bullpen everybody liked to beat up on and say, Plunk, you know, but he did a lot of the dirty work. He didn't get, you know, a lot of the glory because he wasn't a closer. And yes, sometimes, you know, he was a guy that he might give it up in the 8th inning or something, but he was out there for a lot of games year after year.
Well, that's just part of that role when you're a bullpen guy. You come in, you give it up, and it's going to happen to everybody throughout the course of the year. But this guy keeps going back, and you know he may hit a slow patch for a while like everybody does, but he comes right back, and he likes to pitch every other day is what it seems like. He'll have his 70 to 80 appearances every year, and managers love that.
Outside with it, full count. And the payoff pitch. Chopper to first. Santana will have it. The flip. Shaw kicks the bag, turns around, checks the runner who's at third, 2 down. And now it'll be Yunel Escobar.
Third baseman, Yunel Escobar.
Top of the order, Yunel Escobar 0 for 3. He is lined out, struck out, grounded out. And he takes a pitch down low, 1-0. Escobar, a native of Cuba, needs 8 hits to reach the 1,500 hit mark in his career. He'll be the 11th native Cuban to reach the 1,500 hit plateau. Interesting little tie-in is that 10th on that list is Cookie Rojas, whose son Victor is the TV play-by-play voice of the Angels, just a few booths down. Backing up is Ramirez, slings it across, and Brian Shaw does the job. The go-ahead run is stranded at third, but Luis Valbuena has tied the game at 2. Stretch time in Cleveland.
7, 8, 9, Jackson, Gomes, and Gonzalez for the Indians here. Let's see if they have a response for the Angels. One scored in the top half of the 7th inning.
Austin Jackson 0 for 2 tonight. And a fastball in there for strike 1.
I go back and I look at Nolasco, his last win coming July 1st. That was against the Seattle Mariners, where he shut him down. That's where you said the 2 games he had back-to-back, the Dodgers and then Seattle.
That was after he lost 7 straight starts.
Right. He lost 7 straight, 1-2 by not allowing anything.
Then he turned around and got pounded.
Then he had a couple he got pounded, a no decision, and a loss to Boston. But he's pitched well here tonight. Solo home run to the leadoff hitter Bradley Zimmer. They only scored 1 other run, that coming on a 2-out single by Yan Gomes back in the 4th inning.
It seems like whenever he's made a bad pitch or a mistake pitch, it's been an account where maybe the hitter wasn't looking for it. Maybe just a first pitch, get me over, where the hitter was just kind of in take mode all the way. He just hasn't missed over the plate very many times tonight. Full count.
Well, the Angels walked 8 batters last night to the Indians, and 6 of them came around to score. And Nolasco's only walked 2 tonight.
Ground ball single into left field by Austin Jackson.
There's your start.
He's got a hit in 4 straight. That's 4 hits and 7 at bats since coming off the DL.
Well, Escobar goes down. He wanted to try and dive for this ball. He's not going to get it. That ran back inside, and he gets it under the glove there.
Yan Gomes playing a pivotal role in this one. Throwing out a runner, trying to steal, and he took one off the hand. Then he broke his bat, fouled one off of his leg.
Yeah, that was the 0-2 pitch, and then he goes the other way to get the base hit and give him the lead. So again, up here now with the 7th. See, you would think the situation to bunt here. It's exactly what the Angels did in that situation.
Even with the young hitter on deck.
Well, we'll see. I would.
He squares, takes it back, called a strike.
He looked like he was trying to bunt for a base hit. Push it. That's a sacrifice. Get it down. Yeah, let me tell you, when you're hitting 220 and you're in the 7th inning of the game and you get the go-ahead run on first base, 7th inning, yes, I'd bunt. I don't care who's sitting behind him right now.
In the dirt, not showing bunt that time.
That time he took it off. And well, his last approach, though, you're going to swing the bat in this situation. You better do like he did last time with 2 outs or 2 strikes. Take it the other way. It's a lot tougher to turn that double play when you go to the right side of the infield. You've got that hole to shoot for between first and second as well. Jackson tried his first stolen base attempt last night and was caught. Thrown out at second base. And this guy behind the plate, Maldonado, can throw. We witnessed that between last night and tonight.
Gomes drives one. Left field on the run. A great catch by Revere. Boy, he got a good jump and able to close the gap for out number 1.
Well, Gomes got to pitch down where he likes it, and he digs it out. He's a good low ball hitter. Hit a line drive. Not much more you could do. Good at bat for Gomes. Revere runs it down. Out number 1 in the inning.
So 1 on 1 out for Eric Gonzalez. An infield single, and he struck out his last time up in the 4th. And that at bat, I'm not sure Nolasco threw him a strike.
No, he was chasing. There's the fastball, but he chased breaking balls. You know, the first 2 pitches in the at bat, it was swinging at the breaking ball out of the zone.
Mike Scioscia staying with his veteran. Nolasco well over the 100 pitch mark.
To me, that looked like he was calling the pitches with his catcher back there.
Some habits die hard, but you do it for as many years as he did behind the plate.
Oh yeah,
right?
I mean, he's telling you, unless he's signaling, you know, what he wants to do. To me, that looks like he's calling the pitches. That is throw to first or do something else. But when he went earlier, you know, the 1-1-3-3, whatever it was, I think that's calling the pitches.
Runner goes, swing and a miss. Throw down is in the dirt, can't come up with it, and Jackson's off to third.
Interference at home plate. He's got to go back to first base. Gonzalez came over the plate and interfered with Maldonado as he was throwing. He swung. It was a hit and run. Jackson's got to go back to first, and I think is Gonzalez. What is he? Did he call him out? Here comes Scioscia. No, Austin's got to go back to first base. It was a hit and run. He swings and misses. Watch the bat. Oh, his bat's got it down there at home plate in the footwork. Do you see where the bat was?
I don't know if I'm buying this.
Well, watch. It hit his foot.
I tell you what, I've seen a lot worse than that. It wasn't called.
Well, interference was called, and he has to go back, and it's a 1-1 count.
I've seen guys swing and miss, literally be standing on top of home plate, and the catcher has to throw over top of them. That is, I'm not buying that. Sorry.
If you make contact, if he makes contact with it, they call it. He is seeing a steady diet of breaking balls.
Boy, Jackson was standing on third base. Two.
It's one thing I think a lot of the hitters are going to have to learn, the young hitters for the Indians. If you get into situations like this and you can't bunt, you better learn how to hit and run and at least put the ball in play and put it on the ground somewhere.
Ooh, awfully close. Full count.
Take a look at this little away. If he comes back, he's going to come back with the slider, I would think. No way. That was a show pitch, a fastball. He didn't swing. You come back with a slider, so you may want to start your runner thinking you're going to get the slider. But you got Zimmer up, and we will see.
Another throw to first.
Well, they're not. That's the veteran holding it. You know, thinking he may be running. You're holding the baseball. You know, base stealers, they like to get in a rhythm and they try and time you, but he's just concentrating. This is a bigger pitch to this hitter than it is of Jackson taking off.
Does not go. And a broken bat liner to Simmons. Throw back to first, not in time. 2 down. And so now Bradley Zimmer to the plate. Miller time brought to you by Miller Lite. Bradley Zimmer is having himself a pretty good series. Grand slam last night, first of his career. Led off the game tonight with a home run. That gives him 7 homers already this year. And this is game 61 for Zimmer. Outside, ball 1. Bradley walked in the 3rd. And he popped up in the 5th inning on the infield. Count evens up 1-1. With a right-hander up in the bullpen, you would have to guess this is the last hitter of the night for Nolasco.
Well, I'll tell you what, he's giving Mike Scioscia everything and then some that he could ask for tonight. He's battling out there into the 7th, trying to get him 7 full innings.
Well, he powered the fastball by him.
He's got 116 pitches. I mean, you can't ask much more than what this guy's given. They had him on the ropes in the 4th with a 28-pitch inning, but he has hung in there, and he's 1 strike away from pitching 7 solid innings.
Indians have had a runner thrown out at the plate, a runner thrown out trying to steal, and an interference call here in the 7th. That wiped out a stolen base and would have had Austin Jackson standing on 3rd base with only 1 out. Nolasco really pushing past his previous high pitch outing of the year. That was 106 back on June 10th against Houston. There's the 2-2 in the dirt.
Nice
full count.
take. Nice take. No chase there. Again, Zimmer's going to get to a full count.
Only once in Nolasco's previous 7 starts had he gone over 100 pitches. So this is really
He's asked a lot of
him here.
Yeah,
tonight.
it is. It's pushing him, but he's asking a lot. Well, now Jackson will have a head start.
And the payoff. Hit in the air. Deep left center field. It is off the top of the wall. Jackson around 3rd. Bradley Zimmer delivers with a 2-out RBI double, and the Indians go back in front 3-2.
He hung a breaking ball, and Zimmer just crushed it to left center field. So I'm sure his day is over. And that one last pitch is what did him in, a high breaking ball. And Zimmer comes back with an RBI double. Almost got out of here. The 119th pitch. He left a breaking ball up and out over the plate. And look at the extension from Zimmer. Almost got it out of here, but he drives in the go-ahead run in the 7th. That is his second hit and the 9th hit for the Indians, and they take a 3-2 lead.
He didn't miss by much, hitting that ball out of here for his second homer of the night. As it is, he's given the Indians back the lead once again. And we've got a timeout with the Tribe up 3-2. Shell-shocked.
Well, he was one pitch away from getting out of that inning, and he made a mistake, and Zimmer made him pay. Other than that, he's got nothing to hang his head about. He went out there and battled this offense. And right now they're going to try and keep it. Middleton a one-run game. He came in and pitched 2/3 of an inning yesterday and gave up a hit. His 35th appearance.
Francisco Lindor 1 for 3 on the night. His hit came in the 3rd inning when he hit Nolasco right in the backside. And it's up high, ball 1 from Keenan Middleton. How's Bradley Zimmer doing right now? His 4-game hitting streak, he's 8 for 12 with 2 homers and 8 runs batted in. Throw back. And a 1-1. And Lindor couldn't pull the trigger. Frankie has a hit in 6 straight. 9 for 24. Jam job. Going to roll it through the left side of the infield. Singleton flags it down. And a throwback to third has Zimmer caught in no man's land. Throw home. He missed him. And now he's out at the plate. He missed him initially, and then as Zimmer tried to dive back and touch the plate after he had gone by it, Maldonado applied the tag. And that will end the inning. Well, that was a wild climax to a crazy 7th inning. Indians regain the lead, but denied an insurance run, and it's 3-2 Cleveland. Shell-shocked.
Well, he was one pitch away from getting out of that inning, and he made a mistake, and Zimmer made him pay. Other than that, he's got nothing to hang his head about. He went out there and battled this offense. And right now they're going to try and keep it. Middleton a one-run game. He came in and pitched 2/3 of an inning yesterday and gave up a hit. His 35th appearance.
Francisco Lindor 1 for 3 on the night. His hit came in the 3rd inning when he hit Nolasco right in the backside. And it's up high, ball 1 from Keenan Middleton. How's Bradley Zimmer doing right now? His 4-game hitting streak, he's 8 for 12 with 2 homers and 8 runs batted in. Throwback. And a 1-1. And Lindor couldn't pull the trigger. Frankie has a hit in 6 straight. 9 for 24. Jam job. Going to roll it through the left side of the infield. Singleton flags it down. And a throwback to third has Zimmer caught in no man's land. Throw home. He missed him. And now he's out at the plate. He missed him initially, and then as Zimmer tried to dive back and touch the plate after he had gone by it, Maldonado applied the tag. And that will end the inning. Well, that was a wild climax to a crazy 7th inning. Indians regain the lead, but denied an insurance run, and it's 3-2 Cleveland. Transmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cleveland Indians. It is Shark Week after all.
Yes, it is.
And Brian Shaw goes to work here in the 8th, trying to protect a 1-run lead. Mike Trout is the batter. Again, he swings and fouls it out of play. Tribe has out-hit the Halos 10-6 through 7. Andrew Miller is up in the bullpen, and one would assume that's for Cole Calhoun, due up third this inning. Boy, you think Kansas City has called off the Dogs yet? They lead the Tigers 13-1 in the 7th inning in Detroit. Strike called. Big story out of Kansas City is that Dayton Moore went to the club and said, look, I'm not trading any of you guys. We're going for it. They went and added a little pitching reinforcements.
Looks like they relaxed a little bit, huh?
They have taken off.
Yes, indeed.
Trying to win their, well, not trying, they're going to win their 8th straight. Line drive, base hit, left field. Mike Trout has his 2nd hit of the night.
Trout picked on the slider from Shaw. That was down. He hits it into left field. Down, he loves. Doesn't matter how low, he can get it and get it out of there. So they start off with a base hit.
And Albert Pujols 0 for 3 tonight. Takes a strike.
This is the man you'd love to get a ground ball on right here. You could flip that double play if it's at one of your infielders.
Fouled it right back. And Shaw's ahead of him 0-2. Mike Trout, great speed at first.
Yeah, he's stolen 12 out of 13.
Pujols shoots one to right field, and Austin Jackson with a terrific catch. That ball was slicing back toward him, But as he ran up on it, it's almost like the ball nearly handcuffed him, but he made the play.
Well, he picked it up right before it hit the ground. And I mean, it was. Watch it come back. Thought it was heading into the alley, and I think that's what happened. It had that spin, and he had to set himself down like that. And that's not as easy as it looks when you're on the dead run and you have to make that play. So he makes a very nice catch right here to get the first out. Good job.
And we've got a timeout because it's Miller time. Terry Francona has made the call for the big lefty. With 1 on, 1 out in the 8th. 44th appearance of the year. This will be the 3rd straight day that Miller has pitched. He worked 2 innings in the game against Cincinnati. And he worked a scoreless inning last night. So you have to figure Tito's going to keep him on a pretty tight pitch schedule here this evening.
Well, you'll see in the last 4 days, 51 pitches.
Cole Calhoun 0 for 3. Another thing that Charlie Nagy was just kind of amazed by, the ability of Miller to bounce back and pitch 2 innings, then come back, pitch an inning. He's probably down there shaking his head again tonight. Because the guys who've done it know how hard it is to do, to pitch 3 straight days out of the bullpen in high pressure situations.
Well, do you think it's safe to say that he'll be down for tomorrow?
I would have to guess.
And it all depends what happens tonight too.
The 1-1.
Yes,
he tried to hold up, but he went around. You know, Tito and Mickey both said last year there wasn't one time that they could recall where a pitcher came to them and said, I can't go today.
I know it.
It was always them keeping in contact and communication, saying, how do you feel? And then they would decide, hey, let's stay away from so-and-so today. Give him a day off. But he said never once did they have a guy limp into the office and say, hey, I can't go.
Can't pitch.
And a foul back by Calhoun.
And I'm sure there's days where they could have used time off. And that happens with every team over the course of the year. You know, you get into situations where you're on a good run, and these are the guys that pitch when you're winning, you know, in that situation. And, you know, you got to take them off sometime. That's why it would have been nice if Carrasco could have got through 7 innings instead of just 6 1/3. A couple outs late in the ball game mean a lot.
They do.
They mean a lot.
And the 1-2. Got him looking. Cole Calhoun dispatched 2 down.
Let's check out the sequence. To Calhoun, he missed with the breaking ball. He's going to come back, and he had a good swing at a fastball that was elevated. Breaking ball, he couldn't check his swing. Fouled off the slider that time and went back inside with it. He thought that ball broke inside off the plate, but it looked like a pretty good pitch.
Andrelton Simmons. Indians finally kept him off the bases for the first time in the series, his last time up in the 6th when he grounded to 3rd. Prior to that, he had reached in all 7 plate appearances in the series. Took a little something off that breaking ball, but it missed off the plate 1-1. Out of play. He was way out in front of that one. And this crowd trying to make some noise for Andrew Miller, with the Indians protecting a 1-run lead in the 8th with a runner at first and 2 down. Gomes wants the slider, and time is called. See if they decided to stay with it. Yes, sir, and he got a piece of it to stay alive. Wow. Nice job by Simmons. There aren't many hitters we've seen, especially right-handed hitters. When this ball's coming down and in, they just can't get the bat to it.
Well, almost like he had to come out of that toe hold to do it. He did. He got a piece. That's a tough pitch.
Another toss to first. Indians may be thinking that with the count 1 and 2 and 2 outs, Trout might be taken off.
Well, yeah, you're going to see that slider. He'd go on first movement. If they're not really good moves to first base, they're just, you know, tosses over there.
High chopper, Lindor. It's Ramirez who cut in front of him, but no play. Quick throw back to second. Trout gets into the bag on time.
Heads up play there by Ramirez. He didn't have any play at first base. It was just too high. He'll Baltimore chop off the plate or out in front of the plate. And you can see Ramirez realized he wasn't going to get it, but he did round second base, and it was close. Trout was able to get back, so the inning will continue. Is that C.J. Cron?
So with 2 down and 2 aboard, Mike Scioscia goes to the right-handed hitter.
For the Angels, batting for Valbuena will be number 24,
C.J. Cron on the year is 2 for 3 as a pinch hitter, and one of those 2 hits was a homer.
Well, he's hitting for the guy that has driven in both the Angels' runs today with the left-hander, but you know, it's not an easy matchup for anybody, let alone the lefty. But he's going to take strike 1.
The 0-1 is a little low that time. Hit it off the handle over there to Santana, who flips it to Miller, and the inning is over. No runs, 2 hits, 2 left. Angels 0 for 8 with runners in scoring position tonight. 3-2 Cleveland.
Receive your item no matter what time you arrive at the ballpark. Just visit Indians.com for all the details.
Cam Bedrosian on the pitch now for the Angels. Three, 4, 5 spots due up for Cleveland. Indians up a run. C.J. Cron, after pinch hitting for Valbuena, stays in at first base. Brantley 0 for 3 on the night. Last night, it was a game of big innings. The Indians had a 7-run second, and the grand slam gave them a 4-run 11th. Tonight, it's been a picket fence on both sides.
Yes, indeed.
Brantley with a rocket to right field to start the bottom of the 8th. And he's now picked up a hit in 5 straight games.
Nice line drive after he started him up with that slider in. He threw him a breaking ball this time, and Michael laced it into right field. Hit number 11 for the Indians. For Michael, his first tonight.
Indians with a run on the first, 1 on the 4th, 1 on the 7th. Angels with 1 on the 2nd and 1 in the 7th. Now Edwin, who is 0 for 2, hit the ball right on the nose his last time up, but right at the shortstop, Simmons. And it's up high, ball 1. Cubs shutting out the White Sox 5-0 in the 5th at U.S. Cellular Field. One of the few times somebody's gotten the better of the Astros tonight. Phillies pummeling Houston 9-0. Wow, they're in the 8th inning. And Kansas City clobbering Detroit 13-2 in the 8th. Kind of buckled him with that breaking ball. 2-1. And that's low. 3 balls and a strike. High, ball 4. So a hit and a walk to start the bottom of the 8th. And the Indians have it set up for Jose Ramirez. Mazda storylines. The Indians were looking for length from Carrasco. He did pitch into the 7th inning. And the Indians, right-handed hitters, didn't really get a whole lot going tonight, although Austin Jackson did single and score. That was the last run charged to Nolasco in the game. Yunel Escobar in on the grass at 3rd.
Well, this guy's not bunting, but I tell you that.
We'd be shocked. Maybe he's trying to take away the swinging bunt that he burned him with back in the 4th inning. Oh, came out of his shoes on a ball down in the dirt. And Hosey's in the hole 0-2. Same pitch, he calls him out, even though it appeared to be low and out of the strike zone. 1 down.
Take a look at this pitch. Breaking ball. He didn't like it. You can see. Gets the call, gets the first out of the inning.
And with a 1 out, Carlos Santana coming up to the plate, 2 for 3. A couple of line drive singles to right field his first 2 times up. Bounced in there, ball 1. Ground ball single into right field. Brantley coming around third. Calhoun charges. He fires toward home. Brantley is safe. 4-2 Cleveland. Santana with his 3rd hit of the night. And his 53rd run batted in on the year.
Boy, Carlos has been able to get up on top of some high fastballs in this situation today. All 3 hits have gone to right field. This one with a little insurance added to it. His 53rd RBI, and look at him, 93, and not many guys could get the barrelhead up there that high on a baseball, but he does. In comes the throw from right. Calhoun not in time that time, so it is 4-2 now.
Brandon Guyer is going to run at second base for Encarnacion as Tito looks to try and get more insurance. We've seen Edwin thrown out at home twice on the homestand. Ground ball single into center field by Austin Jackson. Here comes Guyer. Trout's throw is cut off. Austin Jackson's 2nd hit of the night, his 5th hit already in the series, and the Indians with 2 in the 8th have opened up a little breathing room. They lead it 5-2.
Right back up the middle on a breaking ball, and it gets into center field. No way they're going to throw out now. It was pinch runner Guyer coming in, so he's going to score. That's 2 in the inning, the first crooked number on the board tonight by either team. Still just 1 out.
Cam Bedrosian has only retired 1 hitter. He's given up 3 hits and a walk, 2 runs already allowed. And it looks like the Angels are getting somebody up in their bullpen now. Yan Gomes, meanwhile, has collected a hit in 3 straight games. He had a 2-out RBI back in the 4th. That's Brooks Pounders, who they just called up today to add a fresh arm to their bullpen. Bounced in there, ball 1. One ball, 1 strike. I apologize if you feel like you've heard me say this before, but on the Indians' 6-game road trip following the All-Star break, in those 6 games, they had 8 hits total with a runner in scoring position. So far in their 5-game win streak, plus tonight, They're batting .418. They have 23 hits with runners in scoring position.
Well,
what a turnaround.
Remember how tough it is when you don't get them. You know how tough it is to, you're saying, man, how can they not do it? And then when they come, they look like they come so easily. They find a hole, a base hit here, something happens there. It comes and it goes.
Well, and you made this observation years ago, and that is when home runs are one thing, but when you don't get hits with runners in scoring position, the team has a tendency to just look lethargic. Lack of energy. You hear all those terms thrown around.
You look dead
because you just can't get that one hit to get everybody energized.
You know, and there's times where you're going to go through. You get the first two guys retired, then you'll get a base hit or another hit. You know, 2 hits in the inning, and it's tough to get 3. Keep rolling. Right. It's tough to keep rolling. I mean, that's just how this game is. When you get them, boy, you treasure them.
Yan Gomes, blast off, deep left, it is off the wall. Around third, Santana scores. Racing to third is Jackson, and Yan Gomes has his second hit of the night and his second run batted in, and the Indians have taken command with 3 here in the 8th.
And it's just like, that's how easy it is. It's everybody's doing it. One extreme to the other, but boy, there's a fastball inside that Gomes smoked. Line drive off the wall. And Bedrosian's night is over, and it's not a good one for him. Just 1 out. And for Gomes, it's his 2nd RBI. It's his 13th double. And good night for Gomes.
It is going to be Brooks Hounders coming on when we come back. 4 hits, a walk, 3 runs have come home. Santana drove in 1. Austin Jackson drove in 1. And then Yan Gomes boomed one off the wall and left for another RBI.
Yeah, a great 8th inning here for a little add-on. They've got 3, and they've got 2 more out there with just the 1 out. So they have an opportunity to add on to this. And the pitching change they just made, Brooks Pounder's coming on. He was just called up today, and he's going to be inserted into the ball game. This year it's his 10th appearance. 1-0. Only pitched 9 2/3 innings.
.6'5", 255, Brooks Pounders. He was born in Riverside, California. Originally a 3rd-round pick of the Pirates back in '09.
Tell you one thing, the bottom part of this Indians lineup, nice job today. 6 through 9, 8 for 15, with a couple of runs and 3 ribbies.
I think Cody Allen has sat down in the Indians bullpen. Indians now it's not a save situation. Inside, 2-1 to Eric Gonzalez, who's 1 for 3 on the night. Chased after 2-2. Smashed into center field. Jackson scores. Here comes Yan Gomes. And that just blew the lid off this baby. Eric Gonzalez with a 2-run single to center. And the Indians with a 5-run eighth.
Well, they've been throwing them breaking balls all night. This is one I don't think was down in the zone, and he hit it right back up the middle. He left that one up. And Gonzalez finally got one, hit it up the middle, and drives in a pair.
All 5 runs charged to Cam Bedrosian. That'll kill his ERA. He only worked a third of an inning. He came in with a 2.37 ERA. 8th man to bat in the inning is Bradley Zimmer, who has doubled, homered, driven in 2.
Bottom part of the lineup. Something to talk about tonight.
It's like Kansas City looked up and saw the Indians scoring, and they scored another one. They lead the Tigers 14-2. And they will not turn to double play. That's about as routine an opportunity to turn a double play as you'll see. And right now, Cowart and Simmons are just staring at each other like, oh, that guy's really fast. And it didn't help that Simmons fired a ball into the dirt on the flip to first. Pat O'Brien, play of the game, back in the 7th. 2-out RBI double by Bradley Zimmer gave the Indians a 3-2 lead. It snapped the deadlock.
That was the last pitch of Nolasco's night right there. 119. And that was a close ball. It was a tie ball game until that pitch right there. And then the Indians, man, they just opened the gates.
It's like that old cliche about the bend but don't break kind of defense, you see, and that's the way the Angels were playing. They were keeping everything in front of them, but finally the Indians just wore them down, and they broke through here with a big 5 spot in the 8th. Brooks Pounders was just called up today. They sent out their only lefty in the bullpen. And that left Mike Scioscia and Charlie Nagy with no lefties in their pen, which is unusual. Swing and a miss. But if you know anything about baseball operations, it's not the guys in the dugout that get to make the call on who goes up and who comes down, or who goes down and who comes up.
Yeah, that's
it's the guys in the front office that make those decisions, and so these guys are left to kind of make all the pieces fit the puzzle. The 1-2. But you think about, we've been spoiled here since Andrew Miller came on board. You've got him. He's an unbelievable lefty. And then for most of the year, you had Boone Logan. She had 2 left-handers at your disposal.
Right.
To think they don't have any.
Well, we've spent many years in our own time not having a left-hander on this ball club for a long time.
Eddie Chase, he did not. Full count. And Miller has been an incredible difference maker, because a lot of the left-handers that we do see in baseball are simply that, matchup lefties. They come in, face left-handed hitters almost exclusively, whereas Miller, he's deaf on left-handers, but he gets right-handers out.
Yes, he can. Doesn't matter.
Payoff pitch, runner goes, and that's ball 4. And so, for the second time in as many games, the Indians have had an inning against the Angels in which they have batted around. Michael Brantley led off the inning with a single and scored. Will bat again. Let's see where Adrian Beltre is now, just 5 hits away from 3,000.
Yeah, he got 4 the other night.
2,995.
Well, who are they playing this weekend? And where are they playing? Will he do it in Texas? Let's see here. Let's see here. Be playing Baltimore in Texas this weekend.
Line drive, base hit left field. Zimmer will score. Lindor to third. A 6-run 8 for Cleveland, and they're not done yet. Brantley's second hit of the inning. And that gives him 47 runs batted in on the year.
Well, he just took that line drive. Look at a little spinner away, and he just hit it the other way. Beautiful swing. No stride whatsoever. Just got the hands through the hitting area. Line drive. So Zimmer scores. Now that's after hustling to beat out a double play ball. That in a big, a game that was like 8-2. He beats it out, keeps the inning going, and what happens? A walk, a base hit, keeps the inning going. It's a 9-2 ball game.
And now Brandon Guyer blasts one into left field, plating Francisco Lindor. And for the second straight game, the Indians have a 7-run inning against the Angels.
Wow. Well, it was the second yesterday. It's the 8th today. And there's another breaking ball. And Guyer stepped in. He pinch ran for Encarnacion. Ended up staying around long enough, getting an at-bat. A hit and a run.
Jose Ramirez. He struck out earlier in this inning. Indians have gone 7 for 8 with runners in scoring position just against the Angels bullpen. Ramirez fouls it back.
Wow. They come in bunches.
Boy, they certainly have in this series. Hard hit ball to first. Cron bobbles it, takes it himself, and that will retire the side. A big inning for Cleveland. 7 in the 8th. And it's now a 10-2 Indians lead.
Pretty good ball game until last inning, but good news for Cleveland fans now with this 8-run lead. Back here in center field, Al Pulowski, Jensen Lewis. Boy, the Tribe on this homestand, they've been great. Offense good, pitching good. That's all coming together.
And it's finally happening at home, a place that the Indians struggled in the first half of the season. Excited again to finally break down a box score where everyone contributes yet again.
We will have plenty of good things to talk about coming up next on Indians Live right after the game. It is brought to you by Conrad's, Tire Express, and Total Car Care. For the call of the night, let's head back upstairs. Here are Matt and Rick. Guys.
Well, Dan Otero, who came into last night's game and recorded a crucial out late in the ball game when he got Albert Pujols on the comebacker to end that 11th inning and ended up getting the win. Now comes in because they didn't need Cody Allen. They could let him sit down, take the rest of the night to just rest up. And defensively, you see Urshela now in at third. Guyer is in to the left. And that's potentially very important, Rick, because as we said, you figure you got to stay away from Andrew Miller tomorrow because he's pitched 3 straight days. And I don't know how much Brian Shaw could give you. He's pitched in back-to-back games now, but if Cody didn't have to pitch tonight, it gives you maybe a couple innings from him tomorrow if you get in that situation.
Well, yes, that's what you wait and see. This game, it was right there, man, until the 7th inning. Tie ball game with 2-out base hit, and then they piled on in the 8th.
Yeah, if somebody didn't watch tonight, they grab the morning paper, they see 10-2, they think, wow, another blowout win. But like last night, it was not the case in terms of how this game played out. This is Cliff Pennington. fouls one back. His first action in the series. And a reminder, we're right back at it tomorrow with a noon start. Al and Jensen kick it off at 11:30 a.m. You can have donuts and coffee with Al. 2-2. Missed inside. And then salami sandwiches with me, Arch, and Andre. Three-two pitch. That's hit well to left. Racing back. Geyer can't quite get to it. Made a heck of an effort. Looked like for a moment there he was going to leap while on the dead sprint and make the catch, but that ball was scorched. So the leadoff double for the Angels here in the ninth.
Well, Pennington hit that ball hard. I mean, that's a line drive. He gave it good effort. I mean, he's reached up and it just went over his glove. Watch how close. Not by much, and he was playing in there, but give Pennington credit. He hit the ball hard the other way. You don't expect him to drive it over your head.
And now we'll get another pinch hitter as Nick Franklin steps to the plate. Nick Franklin is a switch hitter, but on the year he is 2 for 23 at the plate. Which obviously doesn't equate to the numbers we just showed you, but there's a fly ball left center. That's in the gap. That'll go to the wall. And that's going to bring home Cliff Pennington, and they trade places on back-to-back doubles.
Well, that's the approach as a left-hander you want to take against Danny Otero, and they do just that. So back-to-back doubles makes it a 10-3 game.
And he goes the other way. Geyer was breaking in and then slammed on the brakes. And so 3 straight hits to open the ninth. Stopping at third was Franklin.
Well, there's that line drive. He was playing a little deeper this time with the left-hander up. Coward, so 3 straight hits.
At the plate now for the Angels, number 0, Yunel Escobar.
Top of the order, Yunel Escobar.
You know it too.
0 for 4 on the night. Grounded towards second. Gonzalez going to tag him out. Throw to first. Double play. Run scores. And there are 2 down in the inning.
He goes right up and go ahead and get him. You got to put a little more effort into it to push him, man, so he can't make that easy of a throw if you're going to run into the double play. And he throws it, an easy double play. Run scores.
Ground ball, third and short. It's cut off by Urshela, but he can't throw out the speedy Trout. And an infield single keeps the game alive.
The batter now for the Angels, number 5, Albert Pujols.
right, runner at first, 2 down. Albert Pujols to battle. Isn't it kind of funny? This was the matchup last night in which Otero got Pujols to end the top half of the 11th with the go-ahead run at third base. Got him on a comebacker to the mound. This has not been your typical 9th inning of a blowout game. It started with 3 straight stinging hits by the Angels. Double, single. Then the double play ball. Trout gets an infield single to keep the inning alive. But the Indians are 1 strike away from putting this one in the books. And the 0-2. Broke his bat, and it's foul, third base side. How many of those do you think well, he probably doesn't break a lot when you're as good a hitter as he is through his career. Just thinking about all the games he's played, the hours he spent in the batting cages.
Yeah, but everybody gets in your kitchen. That one was that sinker running in on his hands and just shattered his bat that time.
The 0-2 just missed outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. He could have built a small village maybe with the bats he's gone through over the course of his career.
No doubt.
There's the 1-2, and he swung on and missed. This game is over. Dan Otero finishes the game for the Indians by striking out Albert Pujols, who has now gone 0 for 11 in the series. But the Indians turned a close game into a rout with a 7-run 8th inning, and they win it going away 10-4. The Tribe has now won 6 in a row, and they're 9 games over the 500 mark, and they'll stay on top in the American League Central Division with a 10-4 victory and a chance to sweep the homestand now tomorrow at noon when we wrap things up against the Angels.
Well, this was a really close game going into that 7th inning. And Bradley Zimmer gets a big 2-out base hit, the last pitch of the night for Ricky Nolasco. It gives them a 3-2 lead. And then, boy, they just added on. They had another 7-run inning. So in back-to-back days, they have a 7-run inning against the Angels. They end up winning big. And, boy, they've got a chance tomorrow, and it won't be long. We'll be back here in about 12 hours. And they'll have a chance to sweep a homestand.
So the Indians win it by a final of 10-4. We'll be back with some final thoughts right after this.
First pitch down the low, ball 1, be it for the division title or for a wild card spot. Of course, it's way too early to talk wild